So this video is to help you edit the Google Slide templates that are included with this program. If you are choosing to use another format that's not Google Slides, you can skip this video. If you're using the Google Slide template, you may find this video helpful to help you edit. If you're already a pro in using Google Docs and Google Slide, this is really just a basic video, so you, again, can probably skip it. So the first thing about this is to note that this is a copy of a template for you. So you will not have the ability to edit it directly. You will need to make a copy of this. So to do that, you go to File, Make a Copy, choose to name it. If your name is Jane Smith, you may want to rename it and then place it in a folder that you have created, or create a new folder. This folder is a folder that resides within the Google Drive. So again, you may need to have created a Google logon and create a Google Drive space. Another way that you can work with this template is you can also save it as a PowerPoint template. So I've used Google Slides because it gives me a little bit more flexibility from a design standpoint, as opposed to just using Google Docs. But PowerPoint does the same thing and it's really great. And if you're really proficient at using PowerPoint, definitely go ahead and do that. So to do that, you would go to File again and you'd go to Download and Save as Microsoft PowerPoint. And then you can open this document in PowerPoint and edit using all of the normal PowerPoint tools. But for this video, we're going to talk strictly about how to use it within the Google Slides. So some of the things that you may want to do here in Google Slides is you may need to change fonts. You might like the template overall, but you might want things to look a little bit different. There's a couple different ways you can do it. The first one is you can take and highlight a group of text that you want to change, come to the font area and change font. That simple. If you want to change fonts on a group of areas, which is common in something like this, all of these headers, for instance, you can take and select one, then hold down your Shift key and select all of the other ones that also would need to get changed. So now I've selected all of those areas and I can again come in and choose which font I want. I can even choose to change the font size, or I can choose to make it not bold, or I can choose to make it italic if necessary. So any of those options. So you can see by choosing multiple of the boxes at the same time, you'll get things done a little bit quicker. Another area that you might want to work in is color, right? Because right now it has my lovely citron green. I love this color, it's great for me, but probably not the color that everybody wants to use. So very similarly to the font idea that you can choose multiple boxes and change the font at the same time, you can do the same thing with some of the graphic components. So I'm going to choose all of the lines here in the document because I want to change them all to a different color. Oops. And you can see I clicked on a text box as opposed to a line, so I'm just going to click on it a second time while holding down my Shift key. Oh, got it again, until I find the lines that I want. I also do want these triangles because they also have lines around them. And you can see that everything I've chosen has the border color of green. So I want to come in and change the color. Two options here. I can work from the colors that are here that Google has provided to me, or I can create a custom color. How would I create a custom color? Just click on it and you can move color around and pick something that works. You would choose your color probably based upon your storyboard that you created in Pinterest. So you want to think about what colors are important to you. But really this is just about how do you change the color. So right now I'm going to take and I'm going to choose maybe this little bit of a darker blue, kind of greenish color and say, okay. And it will have highlighted and changed all of those colors. Now the nice part is that that color is now part of my color options. So I'm going to choose these triangles again because I need to do the fill, not just the outline on the triangles. You can see my fill color up here says it's green. So I really want it to be my new custom blue. Now I want to change the color of my font. So I can do the same thing I did earlier and grab all of these at the same time. Again, as I'm grabbing these, the way that I'm doing is I'm clicking on it and holding down my Shift key. And I can see that my font is currently the green. I want it to update to that nice blue. And then the last spot is this one up here. So again, I can highlight it and change color. Super. Some other things you may need to do is to move some of these areas around, right? If your professional statement runs longer than this, or in this case, especially experience on the front page, often you have more bullet points in your current position than you do in some of your past. So to do that, I would go through and I would grab all of this together, right? Because this is going to keep it together as a group. I'd even take the next step and I would right mouse click and group it, so that it's all connected together, and we'll keep it laid out just exactly like it is. I can move it off to the side for now because I don't really know if everything's going to fit or not, or if I'm going to need all of this area. So just set it off to the side, and then I can take and expand this current text box and allow me to add more bullet points. So in this case, just to kind of show, I'm going to just copy and paste the same things over and over so you can see I can add a group more bullet points in there. If I chose that I only needed a couple bullet points, I can easily do that. Reduce the size of my text box, and then move this whole entire piece back in. In this case, I'm going to really have to think about my design and decide, maybe it just makes sense to add a couple things to the front here or take one out so that I can have things flow nicely. I do think it's okay to have something start on the first page and then continue on to the second page. But you want to be careful about it because you want it to make sure that it breaks in a really natural spot. So in this case, I'd probably just add some additional bullet points. If I really needed to add this many, 2 more and it would be filled. The other thing to note is that with Google Docs, these things aren't all connected, so you'd need to come back in and do the same thing on page 2. So you'd want to come back in and remember what you picked here, right? So I want to make sure I have the same font, and it's not bold, so that's perfect. So I go back and forth and make sure that they're the same. And I want, right, so awesome. Also, another thing you may need to do is replace the image. So to replace the image, click on the image itself and hit the Replace Image button. Now you can go through and choose another image to upload. Let's see if I've got something here. Oh, I'm going to just pick something silly, one of my kids' pictures for now, but the process is the same in anything that you do. And there, it fills in the block. So you may need to edit that image, so you can crop it, you can reset it, you can enlarge it, all of that with your image buttons. So if I want to make it wider and just pick the piece in the center, I can do that as well. Well, that's it for editing within Google Slide. It's a really easy program to work with. Part of the reason I use it in this case is to allow anyone who wants to access these templates access to it, because Google is a free program. Again, there are other templates out there, and we'll discuss that in another video.